Hopefully by now you're getting a good understanding of how powerful a block explorer is and how DCRDATA is leading the way in pretty much every area compared to other block explorers. As previously discovered, each block contains a massive amount of information. This information has been permanently stamped on the blockchain and can be accessed at any time. Individual blocks on their own will build up a small picture of what's happening on chain. But when you put all of these blocks together, the picture tells a much bigger and interesting story. Charts let you build impressions of performance for now, the past, and for the longevity of a project. Let's start by looking at the proof of work charts found on DCRDATA and the stories they might be telling and what you might look out for as the data progresses. Proof of work charts include the hash rate, proof of work difficulty, duration between blocks, and total work. And let's not forget to run our calculations through the attack cost calculator to see how expensive the chain is to attack. First, the proof of work difficulty and the hash rate. These two charts should be in lockstep with each other. In pure proof of work systems, the higher they are, the more costly the attack. Decred only needs a fraction of the proof of work to be equally as secure, approximately 10 times less hash power. This is due to its hybrid proof of work, proof of stake protocol. Another interesting factor on the Decred blockchain is the difficulty gets adjusted every 12 hours or 144 blocks, in comparison to Bitcoin where the adjustment happens roughly every 14 days or 2016 blocks. The aim here is to make sure blocks are being produced at a constant rate, in Decred's case as close to 5 minutes as possible. Points of interest on these charts include hash rate dumps and how well the proof of work difficulty adjusted to keep up with them. You can also overlay the block time to see if the block production around these times was out of sync and by how much. The block production aims to be as close to 300 seconds as possible. Chart areas that stand out for me include March through September 2018, when the ASIC miners started to come into circulation. The hash rate went from 1.3 petahashes to 85 petahashes per second, which formed a good baseline for future security. In future months, the hash rate continued to go up, but at a hash rate of 85 petahashes per second, Decred had a cost to attack of approximately $150 million per hour. At the end of September 2018, Decred had a fully diluted market cap of $655 million, only 4 times higher than the cost to attack. October 2020, there was a higher than usual miner outage which caused the hash rate to drop from highs of 475 petahashes to 209 petahashes, which quickly rebounded but started a declining trend line down to averages of 300 petahashes. June 2021, China started banning large mining operations. These operations then moved to other locations across the world. At this time, the hash rate hit a new post-ASIC low of 80 petahashes, down from highs of 511 petahashes. One thing this demonstrated is how centralized mining had become. It can also be reasonably assumed that over 75% of all Decred's miners were located in China. It's also important to note that the majority of proof of work projects suffered the same event to a similar degree. May 2022, the hash rate reduces to 90 petahashes, down from an average of 275 petahashes per second, after Decred reduced the miner's block reward from 60% to 10% per block to combat mining centralization and miner price suppression. Two interesting points here include the cost to attack is still over $339 million per hour, with a fully diluted market cap of $622 million. The second point is the project is now over 67% more environmentally friendly than before the consensus change. And from the height of 511 petahashes per second, Decred's environmental impact has reduced by almost 82%. From these two charts, some of the things I look for include: is the hash rate above my preferred 80 plus petahashes? Is the difficulty being adjusted in lockstep with the hash rate? And are the blocks being produced as close to the 5 minute mark as possible? If these factors alone remain constant, the cost to attack Decred remains very high. On the prerequisite, the proof of stake element remains decentralized and has a good level of participation, which we'll look at in the next video. It's also important to note the 80 plus petahashes is my baseline. Even below this cost of attack, in comparison to a pure proof of work chain, Decred is still very expensive to attack. If the hash rate drops to new lows, it might also be worth understanding miner profitability cycles. Typically, miners are big sellers. They tend to sell at opportune times, e.g. when the price increases. On the Decred chain before the subsidy split, miner profitability was incredibly high. After this consensus change, miner profitability reduced below break even. They are naturally in the process of reducing their cost exposure, which is likely to continue for some months. For a miner to currently break even or become profitable on the Decred chain, one of the following three scenarios needs to be met. This research is based on the current average electric cost, price to purchase hardware, and the DCR reward. Firstly, hash rates need to reduce to at least 120 petahashes if DCR price is approximately $40. This is a break-even scenario. Secondly, DCR price has to increase to at least $80 if hash rate stays at approximately 275 petahashes. Once again, this is also a break-even scenario. Finally, hash rates have to drop to at least 110 petahashes and the price has to increase to about $80 plus to become profitable long term. The final chart to look at in this section is the total work for the chain. Very simply, a steady increase is a good example of a chain performing as expected. You'll notice once the ASIC miners got turned on, this chart projection became very steep. But since the miner reward reduction, it's likely the trajectory will reduce to a more sustainable level. In the next DCRDATA video, we'll look at the proof of stake charts and how they deliver security and governance to the system. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and you want to show your support, don't forget to give it a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.